So how to create the input? See, for this label, you can just use the uh, tag label. Okay, you can use the tag label. Within that, you have to give this label names. Okay, if you give directly also it will accept, but it is a good practice. Use label tag and specify the what is the label you want to give for this particular input type. Okay, so okay, I think everybody understood till here. Radio buttons, I told about the radio buttons. So how I made it to select any one of these two. Okay, radio button means you need to go for choosing any one of these options. So in that case, you have to take care when you are designing the name of the input type radio. Okay, so it should be having the same name. So then only it can select any one input. Okay, so these are the some places where you need to give concentration. Okay, you need to remember how you need to done. So let's move on to some other form control elements. So I'll just go with the text area in the next class. Okay, so these are the different form elements, and we started discussion with respect to these input controls. Okay, so if you want to try, we'll just go with one by one. The first one is we have already used it to, that is to get the input box. Okay, so next type I will go with the text area. So whenever if you want to create multi-line text entry box, so in that case multi-line means you will be having more number of rows. So in that case you can go with this type of text area. So where you can specify both column number and also the row numbers, how many rows you want to put. Okay, so in this example whatever you are seeing, it is just only they have specified one attribute, that is row. So your dotted indicates, so you can specify some other attributes. It is not only limiting to that attribute, you can have more number of attributes. I'll just remove this dots. So text area, so here I am specifying row to 5. So this is not input type directly, so it is a tag text area. For text you will be using the input type is equal to a text like this. So this is how you are getting the text box, so where you can enter. So I have given 5 columns, so there will be, that is 5 rows and 6 characters. So each column it can take 6 characters. So that is how you can create the multi-line text area. So that is normally used for taking the address or some description of the project, something like that. Okay, depending on for what you are designing, you need to choose that. Password we have already done. Input type is equal to search. So I think this one you may not get some difference because we need to add the buttons for this. So this is the text box. Okay, where you can enter something and you can give the button for search. This is a search box. If you use input type is equal to button, okay, so in that case you will come to know the difference. I will just discuss about the buttons later. We have different types of buttons. So just to give the break wherever it is required. So I can enter something and submit. Okay, so that means you can just you can go with the customized buttons, the search option. Normally we will not use submit. We will use the customized button. So where you can specify search option, search, cancel. Okay, you can just see I can cancel, but it is not in case of text. Okay, I am not getting that cross mark, but you just observe in this search text, the simple text input type and the search. Similarly, you can just go with the input type is equal to email. So why we can use text only, input type is equal to text only. Only thing is whenever if you are using some of the browser, automatically it will validate the form. I mean that particular field is validated. If I specify mail, so normally it will check for @ and .com. Okay, so in that cases, not all browsers. Okay, some of the browser it supports. So this type of input type. So this is mainly why we'll go with this input type is equal to submit is automatically it performs the validation. Otherwise, you need to write the code separately for validating the input type. Similarly for telephone number. So here also it is mainly used for, one thing is it can be used for formatting and also for validation. Otherwise, the simple method is go with the text and write the separate validation script to verify or to validate the telephone number or the mobile number, whatever it is given. Similarly, you can go with the URL. Okay, if I use now, I may not get like exactly, once you design any particular form, okay, for registration, so there you just try to use this and try to see, is it validating the form, I mean validating that particular text. Okay, so it's not all browsers. Some browsers will perform the validation when form is submitted. Okay, if you are not entering and submitting, so it should tell it is empty. Let me just show you example for this. It is there in the textbook. Use wherever it is required. Okay, so here you can just see somewhere, you can see enter some text. Okay, enter some text is like a light color text is coming. So how I got that? So for that we have an attribute called placeholder. Put this attribute to any of the input, not necessarily the text area. So let me just do that for the username. Okay. So instead of enter some text, enter name I will put. So the name of the attribute, it's called placeholder. So you can just see there is nothing in the text box. So when I refresh, you can see enter name. So it's a good habit, specify the placeholder so that it will be easy for the user to give what type of information they should enter there. Okay, so most of the time, if you have observed, everywhere there will be a placeholder information. Enter password. So this is how you are going to get the placeholder. So even for submit, I can just add it. Okay, for search, just got it. So there are so many attributes. You need to just go with in detail so that you will come to know. So here, okay, so there is nothing here. So normally if there is nothing, it's like what to give. So instead of that, you can just give the placeholder so that it will clearly tell what type of information we need to enter. Are you able to see? So this is one new thing you need to add along with the whatever the input type we have discussed yesterday. So that is one thing. Password also we have discussed. Input type is equal to search. Okay, and so this also we have discussed. So email, you can just observe here. So whenever if I specify, so when you try to submit, it will show the validation of the email. Okay, so enter the valid email. Okay, so this is done in Opera and this is in Chrome. So Chrome also support in, if you are using the text type, input type is email, so automatically it will validate. It does not require to write the separate code. Similarly, if it is a URL, so you need to give the proper URL. That is also done. The validation is done automatically. So inbuilt, whenever if you specify type URL, so inbuilt validation is done. Similarly for telephone number. So these are the different input types. Okay, simple input types we have discussed. Text input. Okay, that means with respect to text where you can accept the information. So normally we'll use all these different text input for registration. For some other task you will be using these input types. So next we'll move on to okay, so we'll move on to choice control. Okay, so HTML5 advanced controls. So this is the selection list. So using select, you can just specify what are the item you want to select it. So here there will be predefined set of items. You need to specify which item you want to select. Okay, so we'll just try how to. So for that you need to use the select tag. Okay, you need to use the select tag. So now before going to this, first we'll go with the data list. So what is this data list indicates? So the data list, it is going to give the list of the choice. It is a normal, you can just observe, it is a normal input type. Okay, so normal input type text. For this you can specify what are the list of information or the items they can select. So predefined, it is something like predefined information you are going to list it. So you are going to get just one text box here if I do this. So now along with this, try to add the list. Okay, for that you need to use the tag called data list. Tag called data list. So I'm just doing copy paste, but you try to type the code. Okay, in that data list tag, you can give the options. What are the elements you want to display? The list of elements you want to display. So here we have input type is text, name is city, and list. Okay, cities. So here you are going to list what are the cities you are going to, the user can choose. Okay, so the all that city names it is given in the options, option tag. Okay, and it should be within the data list tag. Are you getting this part of the code? So this is mainly for listing the items with respect to the text box. So now we'll see how we are going to get the output for this. Okay. Can you see here there is one text box? Can you see this? The rectangular box. If you click on that, okay, if you click on that, you can just see. So these are all other information also it is coming. Okay. So you just what code we have written only for these cities. So the user can select any of these cities. Okay. So for the same input type text box, you have given this option. So where the user can select the list of cities. Okay. Is it clear? So wherever it is necessary, you need to use. Whenever if the what the user want to enter, if it is limited to some particular set of cities or some particular set of item. So in such cases, you can just go with this data list. Okay. Not for all the text. So if it is going to vary the name of the city, if it is going to vary for each of the user, okay, throughout the country or throughout the world, so in that case we can't do all that listing of the all the cities. Okay, it's going to be hectic. Only if it is predefined some set of cities you want to allow them to select, in such cases use the data list. Okay, so next we'll move on to the select list. So this is something advanced control element. So select element is used to create multi-line box for selecting one or more items. Okay. So it is similar to something like whatever you are getting your list in the same manner you are going to get, but here something it is advanced where you can group the elements, and also you can go for the subgroup also. The options we have already specified the option elements. So within the option you can specify sub option groups. Okay. So select element is used to create the multi-line box for selecting one or more items. So here the option is defined using option element. So that can be hidden in a drop down or multi-line, multiple rows of a list can be visible. So whatever we have seen, that data list, it is drop down. Okay. So the option items can be grouped together via option group element. Okay. So whatever the option, if I have subcategories, you can just group it using opt group element. You can just observe here. So this is my drop down list. It is not same as, see, in case of data list, you will be just getting one rectangular box, okay, where it will list whatever the option you have given here. But select is different, okay, where you can select one or more than one item you can get selected. So here we'll just go with the different categories of specifying the select list. Okay, the first one is, you can just observe. So select list, so where you are going to specify the name of the select, that is choice, because why we need name is when you are working with the server side code, okay, when you want to process this input, so in that cases we'll be using these names internally when you are writing the server code. Okay, then specify what are the option you want to display in the select list. Okay, first, second, third, something like this I have written. So let me just execute the select part, the simple code. This is for selecting the items or the data. So where you will be having option, you can choose the required option. Let's see what we are going to get the output. Okay, I'm just talking about this select. Just concentrate on this select part. So where you can just choose the required information from the drop down. Okay, so this is my list what I got. By default, it is showing the first item. So in case if you want by default, okay, if you don't want to specify this one, if you want to make the second one get selected by default, you can just specify here a selected keyword. So then automatically when you refresh your page, so it is going to show the second item selected by default. Okay. Is it clear, this part? So now we'll add more changes to this. Okay, so that is how this is a select list. You can just see it is a just drop down list. Okay, it is not same as this text area. Text box is different, and this is drop down list. So now what are the other options we can specify? You can specify the size of the as an attribute, size to 3 or whatever you want. Okay, how many elements you want to specify, accordingly you can specify the size of the list. Similarly, if you want to go for subgroups, okay, this is just one group. So in the first, if you have A, B, C, then something like that, okay, you can just go for the subgroup using opt group. Okay, so where you are going to make, you can just observe here. So option group. Okay, so where I'm giving the label for the first option group, North America. Okay, in that I have a sub options, okay, categories. You can specify using the option tag. Similarly, another option group followed by, give the name for that option group, followed by specify what are the options in that subgroup. Okay, and close this select. So we'll just try this. Don't do copy paste when you are doing, just create your own code. Okay, try to add the correct information to create the tags. Okay, so this is my first group and I have two options in that. See, indentation, normally when you type, automatically the Sublime it will take it. Okay, so no need to do manually. So your label is very important. So the label, it is acting as the main heading for that group. Okay, so I have two main groups, one is North America and another one is Europe. So in this each category we have subgroups. So in such cases you have to go for the tag opt group, option group. Okay, within that you will be having the options. Okay, can you see here? Similarly, like how we did for the first one, so here also you can specify which value you want to get selected by default. Okay, so these are all headings. You cannot choose this one. Under this option group, so you have two options. Okay, so you can just choose any one of these. So in the second group, you have three options. You can select any one of those three options. Okay, so you can select any one value at a time. So by default, if you want to make any one of the particular value get selected by default, you can just write it as selected. Just refresh. Can you see? So by default, it is selected the Paris as the default value. Okay. So now, so how when you are writing the code, okay. So what is the value it is going to take? What is the value it is going? The value is like, so which option it is selected? You need to specify. So here I'll just give 1 for the first option. Similarly, value is equal to 2. If you are using laptop parallelly, you can just do it. So now this, you may not see any changes in this particular. So I'm just talking with the first one, okay, where we have specified for second, third, and the list. So why I have given the value is whenever if you are working with the server side code, okay, it requires what is the value I selected for this option. Okay, so when I specify value equal to 2, then accordingly whatever the input it is given, that can be used. Okay, if you have a button here, so when you select any one and submit, so it has to send the value, which value I have selected. Okay, so that value will be choice is equal to 2 or 3, 1, it is going to submit. So let me just show that option. Okay, you can just see. If you don't give directly, it will take the name of the option. Can you see here? If you don't give the value, so this is the first one what we have done. Okay, where we are not specified any value for each of the options. So by default, whatever the option name it is there. So when you click on submit, it will take this value itself and passes to the server. Okay, or the other way of writing the code for the same select statement is specify the value. Okay, when you specify the value, when you submit, select any one of these three value and submit, it is going to take the value like this. Okay, question mark choices is equal to 2. In case if I have selected second one, so it is going to choose the value is 2. Okay, that means I have chosen the second option. So if you are specifying value, it will take that value assigned to that option, or else it will take the name of the option. Is it clear? So value attribute, how you can specify using the select statement along with the select statement. Okay, either of this is, it is okay. You can just make a practice of writing any one of these. But it is a good practice to go with value specified. Okay, so always try to use this value assigned for each of the tag using the value attribute. Okay, so that is about this select statement. So next, okay, so which value to send using the option name and value name. So next we'll move on to radio button. I think yesterday I've already explained about the radio buttons. So here radio buttons are useful when you want the user to select a single item from a small list of choices. Okay, So if it is small list, if it is a big list, normally will not go with the radio buttons. If it is a small list, then you can go with the radio buttons. So where you can allow the user to select any single item. Okay, so that is very, very important. So for what purpose or in what context you are going to use. Okay, where there is a list, in that the user should choose any one option. In that case, you can go with the radio buttons. Okay, so radio buttons are added via input type is equal to radio. Okay, so the buttons are mutually exclusive. That means only one can be chosen by sharing the same attribute name. Okay, so this point is very, very important. We have already tried this in the yesterday's class itself. See, when you are learning, see, I know many of you are able to write the code. So for this subject, code is not only enough, even you should able to write the theoretical part of each of these things. When I ask explain radio button checkbox, okay, text input types, you should able to explain some of the important characteristics of those form control elements, okay, and followed by one example. Okay, so here what is the characteristics of radio button? It is used mainly for selecting a single item from a small list of choice. And also here the button are mutually exclusive. That means only one can be chosen among set of buttons. So by sharing the same attribute, how you can make mutually exclusive? So for all the radio buttons will be having the name attribute. So you should give the same attribute name for all the radio buttons. In that case, any one will be chosen. Okay, so checked attribute is used to indicate the default choice. So in case if any one is checked by default, so that value will be taken. Okay, so it is similar to the option element. So I think I have just explained. Already we have discussed these radio buttons in yesterday's class itself. Okay, you can just see, just focus here. So here I have created the radio button. So for choice of gender, male or female, so I have taken input type is equal to radio and name I have given a gender. Then here input type is equal to radio, name is equal to gender. I think most of you have already seen the output also. Okay, you can just see. So I have these two, any one should be selected. Okay, so how I got this? When by just giving the same name. Okay, I have an attribute name. So for that you should give the same name or same value. Okay, if you are giving different, just check it, I am giving different. So in that case it will select both. Okay, so that is not correct when you are using the radio button. So this is mainly intention for selecting any one item from the list. Just a minute, I will share the screen. Okay, so hope everybody understood this radio buttons. So if you want to make it default, you can just type checked. Okay, so if you want to make any, normally we will not do it for the gender. So if it is something other than this, any other information, so you can just go for any one particular value specified checked. I'll just give this as checked. Okay, so I made it male, input is by default, it should get select. Okay, can you see by default male is selected. So whichever the option you want to get select, so you need to make it by default that one. So you need to specify it as a checked. So here also you can specify the value. So how we have given value for the options, for the select list. Similarly, you can just give, see, those values are taken when you were submitting. So instead of taking the name of the radio buttons, it will take the values assigned to that radio button. Okay, that is the one difference. You can just see in the textbook they have given the value, just try to add the value. Okay, you can just observe. So these are the radio buttons. So this is used for specifying or choosing the continent. So North America, South America, Asia. So among these, by default, they have made it the second option is checked. Okay, when you refresh your page, by default, the South America is selected. Manually, if you want any other continent to be selected, you just click on that, it will get selected. Okay, so next we'll move on to checkbox. So how to use these checkbox? So this is mainly used for choosing multiple items. Okay, so multiple selections. When you want multiple selections, we'll be using the checkboxes. Here I'm going with the new type of input type. So this is how you need to give the label. Okay, if you don't use the tag also, still you will be able to get the labels, but it is a good practice to use the label tag followed by what you want to display. Okay, so your input type is checkbox and the name is given accept. So now you need to give the list of item or the options for this particular checkbox. Okay, so for this you will be just getting only one checkbox. Let me just run, save the code. Okay, so this is only one checkbox you are getting. So I have just written only one code, one line of code to indicate what is the item. So this is just a confirmation that you need license or not. It is going to take the option. If it is selected, okay, if you have marked the tick, so it indicates that you have accepted the license and it will proceed. So if you want to give more than, other than these options, more number of options to select, so you have to go with the more number of checkbox. Okay, so let's just take this part of the code. So which city would you like to visit? That is the question here. The break. Okay. Same code. The only thing is I have given multiple choice here. Okay. So here the label is where would you like to visit? Okay. So I have given checkbox. Input type is equal to checkbox. And here also I have given the name visit for all the three checkboxes. Okay, and also the value given, you can give the value. So these values, so name is same but the values are different. Okay, so accordingly whichever the box you are going to put check mark, that value will be passed. And you can see this is the value or the name that is displayed in front of the checkbox. Just last code, we'll just run it. Okay, you can just see I have got three checkbox. So where would you like to visit? So I can just go with Canada, France, Germany. Okay, or if you are interested in anyone, you choose accordingly and submit. Okay, so now whatever it is selected, accordingly it will send the values. So these values are very important. So it should not be same here. For radio button it should be same, but here it should not be same, because you are giving option to select multiple items. So whenever the user is selecting multiple items, so obviously, so it should have a different values. Okay.